Welcome to Speedy Beer's Bluegrass Guitar Lessons. Today we're going to talk about lesson number 1. In these lessons there are 21 lessons. Lesson 1 through 20 are divided into 3 sections. The top section, or the first section, is the scale. The second part is the exercise. And then the third part is the You Are My Sunshine part, which is an exercise also, really. So what we're going to do today first is since it's lesson 1, is we're just going to talk about how we hold the pick, okay? Just to make sure we are clear on at least how I hold the pick. The pick should be held on the first joint of the first knuckle on the index finger, pointing down, and then the mallet part of the thumb, so that the pick is aiming down. Not a lot of pick showing when we're playing. Okay? And then the first thing we want to do before we start playing this is just to warm up our pick a little bit, back and forth. Using the metronome would be a good idea, actually, and play eighth notes, down, up stroke on each string. That gets us going, getting the pick, and you should just kind of get that pick moving so it becomes comfortable to you. Okay, now if you look at your page there, you'll see that there's metronome readings on there of scale is 200, the exercise is 100, and the You Are My Sunshine is 160. So I would recommend that you don't try to start off playing on that speed, but start off working them up to half speed. So instead of the goal being 200 at first, make the goal 100 on the scale, and then just work it up. So I'm going to play the scale at 100. You'll want to start on the G note, the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the 6th string, and then play the scale up from there, playing at 100, alternating the pick as you go. Basically half speed of the goal we have here. Now if you eventually get going and you want to go beyond the 200 goal, that's fine. But bluegrass music is not normally played very slow, so it's usually played at a fast speed. Okay, so that's the scale. The second thing we're going to talk about is the exercise. Now we've written the exercise with a scale piece and then a chord measure, and then another descending scale piece, and then another chord, or the same chord, really G chord in both cases. So what we're doing is we're integrating the chord and the scale together. That's good for 2 things, for practicing getting from the scale to the chord, and the other thing is to practice so that you can hear the integration of the scale into the chord. It's good for your ear to hear that balance between the scale and the chord. So that goal is 100. We're going to move it down to 50 and play it at 50 metronome, so that we are playing it then again at half speed. Now there's repeat signs there, so you can just keep playing it over and over and over until you're comfortable at whatever speed. And if 50 is too fast, then of course start slower and build it up little by little. But the metronome is important to keep a good steady rhythm for you, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is play the little piece of You Are My Sunshine song, and we're going to play it at 80 metronome. So we're moving up to 80 here, too far. And that's half speed again. That's the goal. Before we move to lesson 2, we want to play all of these at half speed. So this is half speed on You Are My Sunshine. chord at the end, you probably don't need to do that unless you're comfortable getting to the chord there. So it goes to a C chord on that last measure there. Okay, so that's half speed all the way through. And again, make sure that when you get these to half speed, you start working on the next lesson 2, and we'll talk about that in another video, lesson 2. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to move that up to full speed, so just so we can have it there and you can hear these played at full speed on the metronome. So you know I'm not asking you to do something that's not possible here. Again, we're going to start on G, the 3rd finger on the 6th string, and play up the scale, alternating pick. Okay, now that's 200 metronome quarter notes on those on the pentatonic scale. Okay. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is move it to 100, and then we're going to play the scale, or not the scale, but the exercise at 100, and that's again full speed on this. Okay. So here we go. Times as it takes, building up gradually using the metronome until you get to that point. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is move to 160 on the metronome and play the little part of the You Are My Sunshine song at 160. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now that's all of lesson 1. That's the whole thing, and that's the way we want to do it. So once you've got that going at half speed, move to lesson 2, and then keep working on lesson 1. Okay? All right, see you in the next video.